box of my stolen books ended up on eBay. To understand how this happened and how I knew that the box of books was mine, we must go back to February and the Tears of the Wolf launch. For the launch, we ordered 550 hardcover books, 250 from one printer, and 300 from the second printer. The reason I ordered from two different printers is a whole other story. But anyway, this concerns the second order of the 300 books specifically. That order of 300 books was shipped in 10 boxes, each containing 30 books. 9 of those boxes arrived safely in Texas. One of those boxes disappeared somewhere in California. Luckily, our chief operations officer, aka husband, is very smart. Because hardcovers have given us more problems than all of our other products combined, he had me order 50 extra, just to account for damages, replacements, or whatever comes up. So even without those 30 books, we were still able to meet all of our obligations and fulfill all of our orders. I talked to the manufacturer about that missing box and they were at a loss. So we decided to wait and see, because sometimes FedEx takes packages along the scenic route. So I honestly forgot about it until a reader messaged me about an eBay listing that looked weird. She messaged me within like 10 minutes of the listing going live too. I went and I looked at the listing and I saw somebody selling a box of 30 hardcovers still in the manufacturer's packaging. I should mention here that Tears of the Wolf is not available in hardcover anywhere but my store. You can order paperbacks from your local bookstore, from Barnes & Noble, from Waterstones, the Jeffrey Bezos store, but no one anywhere is licensed to sell the hardcover. The only way you can get a hardcover of any of my books is if you buy it directly from me. This means wherever these books came from, I was never paid for them. My first thought was that they were pirated by my manufacturer, so I contacted my manufacturer like, what the hell? Like, every author has had their ebooks pirated. Like, that is something that just happens. I don't like it, but it happens. But for my physical limited edition hardcovers to be pirated, that crosses a line. I blamed my manufacturer at first, but then while I was waiting for them to respond to my very heated messages, I looked at the listing and I realized that it shipped from Utah. My manufacturer is overseas. And as the initial outrage wore off, I remembered that missing package of books. Only 300 of these books at this size have ever existed. Only 300 will ever exist because we changed the weight of the paper and the ribbon color in the following print run. I received 270 of these books, which means that this box has to be the missing box. I double-checked the tracking info, and sure enough, there's one box that was still listed as pending. My manufacturer got back to me very quickly. They were like, "We're sorry, but it wasn't us. We do think it is your missing box of books, and we're trying to figure out what happened and what we can do to fix it." The more I looked into it, the more that story added up. So I sent a number of messages to the eBay seller like, "Hey, these are mine. I know they're mine based on the packaging and the paperweight. Here's the date they went missing with FedEx. Here's who the manufacturer was. These were not legally acquired because no one is licensed to sell these." Losing that box is not going to hurt us all that much. But at this point, it is a matter of principle. They are mine, and there is no question about it. I am upset. My sales rep is upset. Her manager is upset. The shipping manager is upset. We are all upset. At this point, it's 8 p.m. in Utah, so I don't get a response from the eBay seller right away. But I file a report with eBay saying this item was stolen at some point. It belongs to me. Here's the manufacturer receipt, here's a copy of the tracking info, here's a download from the manufacturer showing the other shipping labels in the shipment. And I am happy to provide more documentation to y'all, just tell me what you need. 10 minutes later, I get an email from eBay saying that their AI has rejected and closed my case. At this point, I did have a bit of a crash out, raging against the eBay machine. I was not operating in my highest identity there for a good 20 minutes. I I spent the next hour trying to contact an actual human being. I did get in touch with a lovely human being who did try to help me. They gave me 2 email addresses, told me who to contact, and told me to file a police report. At this point, I am committed. So at 11 p.m., I send my documentation to this eBay email address and I file a police report. I go to bed furious, and in the morning, I wake up to a message from the eBay seller saying something along the lines of like, thank you for reaching out, but all our stuff is above board and perfectly legal, and also this box is not yours. I did not care for that response. I messaged them back almost immediately, repeating that only 300 of these books ever existed. I received 270 of them, so like, where did you happen to get the exact number in the exact packaging of the exact format of the books I lost? Right after that, the eBay seller did call me, but I was in a meeting with a different manufacturer. But after that meeting, I got the eBay seller's voicemail. And so I went for a walk for like 5 miles to make sure I was relatively calm before I did call them back. They were quite reasonable once I got a hold of them. Apparently that eBay seller just buys pallets of lost freight to resell. They've made like 70,000 sales on their eBay account. So I assume that this has probably happened before where someone's like, that's mine, and this is their policy for when that happens. But the eBay seller asked for my address and shipped the books back to me for free without any additional questions. So I appreciate that. I was very upset by the whole situation, but I can't be too mad about it. I did get the books back. They're still in like the plastic wrapping that the manufacturer shipped them in. There's a few dings on the box and looks like the shipping label was ripped off the original box at some point, but they're fine. And the manufacturer is also sending me another shipment of 30 books as an apology. So I appreciate them as well. This situation consumed my life for like 18 hours, but it had a happy ending and everything worked out. I got my books back, and you can, once again, only buy hardcovers direct from me. This is just adventures of being an indie author.